Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Polybridge. I want to say thank you for all of the tremendous support on the series. Really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Today's episode is going to be the last one for a while though. The reason why? Because we have completed... Actually no, that is a false statement. We have played all of the levels in the campaign and I don't feel like going back and playing these ones again. They're really tough. I haven't really seen any solutions to them, so I'm kind of thinking let's look for something else to do in this last video. And of course there is the Steam Workshop, so I was thinking if you guys like this, let me know with a comment down below, and if you want to see this from time to time, maybe we'll do the occasional Polybridge video in between the updates, because there's loads and loads of levels on here. Now I've had a look at some of the most popular ones and there was one right here that looked fantastic. And I was sort of looking at it, scratching my head, and the first thing that I tried to do actually worked out really well. So let's try and recreate that. I'm going to turn off the grid as well, as I think that's going to make our lives a lot easier. So you only have two pieces of road on this one. A hint is in the name. It is called Slingshot. So what we're going to do is try and create a slingshot. Now if we use a little bit of steel like this, we can create a shape, and then we can attach that shape over here with some hydraulics. Now these are set to contract, which is good. Let's move that around a little bit. And now it's in range. Awesome. So let's give this thing a try. And we did it wrong because it took off without bringing the car along. So if we readjust the shape of this a little bit, I'm sure we'll be able to find something similar to what I did before. Also got to try and keep it under budget. So what about that? No, it takes off. I think the road here is done completely wrong. Let's try and place that down again. Can I place it up there somewhere? Then can I drag it down? That's the way I did it before, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's try it now. Flings it across and it smacks into that wall, which of course is no good. So let's try perhaps changing the shape of this a couple of times. Nope, not much better that time. I think this might contract quicker if it's shorter. So let's say we push this a little bit, we bring it to around there. We want to keep this as a straight line, I think, and see if that helps in any way. No, that didn't really look to make too much of a difference, did it? Okay, that's fine. It does say slingshot, and I'm wondering, what are we doing here that's not quite like a regular slingshot? Maybe we should try connecting to it further back like this, try and change the shape of the ramp as it goes across. That is just out of range. Okay, we'll drag this one across, then that one back. And I had an attempt before that worked really well. Oh, it almost sort of pushed it up and over then. Right. That might just be the way to do it. So let's adjust that ever so slightly there. That looks even closer. And again, we'll give it another little nudge. Oh, man! You've got to be kidding me! Is it gonna tap back, tap the car? Knock it a little bit further. It's not, is it? Oh my god, that is about as close as you can get right there. So I want to nudge this ever so slightly now. There we go, that was the tiniest little nudge ever. And bam! Oh, now it's the front wheels that are stuck. This is absolutely brilliant. Okay, maybe we bring that back a touch. Maybe we change the size of the front ramp. That might help. No. You see, because our initial concept isn't quite working, like this thing isn't pulling it up enough to go over there, it means that if we just continually adjust and tweak, we might find something that just so happens to push it up and over, but that could take a long time as well. It looked like we got a little bit close there. I'm also just wondering if you could do something with this anchor point, but I can't really think of much that would work there. Do we have access to cable? No. What if we were to connect like this? That takes us over budget, but let's see... Oh. Well, that's not what I was expecting to happen. I was hoping it would hold it back for a moment, and then it would break once this thing pulls it away. Maybe if we try connecting it to that one. So what happens now? Just throws it into the water, but then look what it does after that. Okay, so there's some promise in that. Let's see. The thing sort of drops down very quickly, so maybe if we just tweak and change things and... No, we need that car to sort of end up in here as it drops down. Which it's not going to do like that. It's just a case of trial and error. Now that looked like it almost tipped the car in. Let's drag it out a little bit. Let's also change this, bring it under budget. And it's just a game of trial and error now. Let's give that a try. Oh, brilliant. Well, I could be doing this forever, and I might end up doing it for a long time as well. I'll mess around with this until I find something that works. I shouldn't have stopped recording. I really shouldn't have, because this is literally one of the next things that I tried. I managed to get the car to prop up onto this bit, but it just flew off the front, so I pushed the front back like this. We're under budget, by the way, and... very, very much by the skin of its teeth does it manage to chuck it across there. That was absolutely awesome. Really enjoyed that challenge. And now what we're going to do is go back to the menu and have a look for some other ones that look interesting. I've got to say though, I don't think I'm interested in some of these big ones. I think some of the ones that I've looked at have sort of suggested that you do tons and tons of building. What I want to do is find like quirky little challenges like that. That was a lot of fun. Now this one looks seriously cool. It's called a compact drawbridge, and the idea is to fold it up fully, or at least vertical like that. So I've got a good idea of what this may involve, and it may be really easy. It might just be one of those ones, you know, it's a fun challenge that the game didn't provide, and it's actually really easy, but I think it will be just because of the size of it. So we're going to have this. Bam, that should be nice and solid. And then what we want, I think, is something like, we might not even need the steel here, but what if we had two sets of hydraulics and both of them... Oh, can't create any more hydraulics. Do we have... Oh, right, we don't have cables either. Okay, so... Can I just delete that and have hydraulics from there to there? Would that work? That's going to apply a lot of pressure to that bit, so let's change just that one to steel. And let's see what happens here. Alright, so that goes first. Is that enough, or is it going to clip it? It clips it. Wow, okay. But what if we nudge... Oh, we can't nudge the middle up. Do we have unlimited road? We don't. Okay, this is quite the challenge then. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not quite the challenge, because couldn't we, like, bring this more to the middle? Would that sort of help in any way? It's definitely pulled it back just a tiny bit further. And it didn't clip it. Now, can it take this thing going across? Let's see what happens. Go on, guy. There we go. That's the way you do it. I like that. That was cool. A little bit more challenging than you might have thought at first glance. Okay, so as well as that one, if we go back to the menu, into the Steam Workshop, I picked out a few others as well. Lizard Tongue, this one sounds interesting. The goal is to make a drawbridge that opens up from only one side using the limits in place, and there's a balloon to give you a lift. I think we might try that one next. This one right here sounds cool. The cliff. It's a steep cliff. How are you going to get up there? I want to do this one. I think we're going to... Oh, wait a minute. Wood and steel only? That might be a lot harder than you think. Just wood and steel. And unlimited roads. Huh. Okay, I have no idea what the intention is right here, but this could potentially work, because when you have the roads sort of in the vehicle like this, it causes them to jump up a little bit. Okay, so I adjusted something there, and before what happened is this thing sort of flipped over backwards. And it's not gonna... Oh, there you go. So I was thinking, oh, I know what this thing needs. It needs like a roof above it to hold it in place, but as you saw when we nudged that thing across, it's going to struggle to go up that steep. So do we need to push this thing backwards somehow onto a different road that's not as steep? That might be a way to do it. Okay, so the challenge now will be to push this thing back. Let's see what happens when we like awkwardly position a road like that. Okay, that sort of needs to be pushed out a little bit further. It appears to make it move back a little bit. What about even further for it? That was weird. Or maybe we could start it off with a loop. Like, make it do a loop-de-loop. I don't think I have enough momentum for that. Let's try it. Let's try and make a ramp that immediately just sort of goes up and over, and see if we can get it to go over itself and onto another ramp. I don't know. This is probably a very bad idea. Believe it or not, this actually works. And it doesn't flip it back much further than where it started, and it also breaks as well. So I'm thinking, let's replace a couple of these bits with steel so it has more strength. And if it doesn't collapse, maybe the car goes further back. Or it does that. This is both brilliant and hilarious. I can't get it to quite land properly yet, but I mean, it's on the right track. It's not going to work. I don't think that's particularly going to be much better of a slope than what we had before, but it's kind of hilarious just to see how it all comes together. Let's change the gradient of the slope there. At least see if we can get it landing. Oh, wow. Okay, and it sort of comes back here, which isn't really useful. In fact, look at this ramp back here. It's almost like you want it to go back up there first, and then you'd have enough momentum to go all the way up. What could we change about that? Maybe back here we could do with a different slope as well. Oh, that kind of changed it altogether, didn't it? It's funny, you change the slightest thing and different parts of it behave differently. Oh. This idea isn't going to work, but it's so fun to mess around with, so check this out. Goes around once, drops down, goes around twice, goes further back, but it also breaks all of this. That's crazy, imagine it like building up momentum. I have no idea if that's how you're supposed to do this with something like that. It's so crazy. I have been wondering as well about... We're going to delete this because it's fun, but it's clearly not working. What if you had like loads of roads sort of squashed up together? Is there any way we can sort of force some weird reaction where it gets pushed back? And I imagine the answer is probably not. I might actually be onto something right here. I really might. Check this out. Up it goes. We've sort of raised it up a little bit. Now that's not good enough, obviously, but there's some valid idea right here going on that just needs to be explored a little bit further, I think. Let's change the size of this and let's attach this little box like so, and then let's put even more weight over here with just more things dangling down. And oh, it broke. Such a stupid idea. This is definitely not bridge building, is it? Okay, let's connect those two to make that stronger. Let's also position them so they look a little bit more suited for the task. That had some merit to it, it really did. I think what we need now is to attach that to that bit. It's too heavy now. It's too heavy this time. Okay, that's interesting how that works, because now I guess before this thing was sort of moving across, like its weight was being shifted as this bit rose, so it got away with it, but now it's actually got to move it all the way over, and I reckon this probably won't work now that we've seen it like that and realised what that means. So let's just add as much as we can more down here. There might also be a more optimal way, because at the moment all of this is going to sort of unravel bit by bit, and all of the weight won't be distributed onto that at once. Okay, maybe this was a terrible idea. I'm starting to think it was a bad idea. I think we got this now. So I went back to the original idea of the little loop, and what I noticed is when you successfully complete one loop, you go around the second one faster, which means you do one, you land, you go for it again, and boom, you go flying all the way back over here, and it may not be a great landing, but we can push it onto that ramp, and then it looks like we'll be able to put it onto another one that floats out there. The thing that I'm worried about at the moment, though, is as we add some more roads up the top here, it's probably going to change the dynamic of it going through the loop a couple of times, which kind of sucks, because then you'll forever be tweaking little bits and bobs. At least that's what I'm sort of seeing coming next. So let's just add some support like that. That really doesn't look like it's in the right place, does it? But it does the first loop like normal, and see, the second one then becomes completely different because of all the extra tension from up here. Maybe we should actually avoid that altogether and focus on this steel sort of going up here, connecting to that like so, and then maybe it won't affect this at all. And we also need some roads up here, like so. Can we drag that? No, that's about the best we can do. And that's clearly like in the wrong place, but you know, let's see if this works first of all. It looked like it touched it that time. Oh, it hits. Oh wow, that kind of helps it. Oh, I guess so close as well. Interesting though, it seems to land in the sort of area where this comes through, which would suggest we're doing something wrong here. I'm not quite sure what that would be. I'm not quite sure at all. Maybe our takeoff angle needs to be better. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And Let's also, let's say, put a platform. Oh god, this is gonna look so bad. Let's extend this out. Have a landing platform here and see if it can avoid this thing when it comes around through the loop. So it'll avoid it the first time. Yep. Second time, will you go near that? Yes, but it looked like for a second it might be in our favour. No, clearly not. So let's change that a bit more. I think this is definitely going to need to be sharper. Let's go with that right there. Okay, another attempt. Round it goes. Round it goes again. Oh, and it seems to like... Yeah, it's like path out there is different because it landed on this, which it wasn't doing before. So all of this is somehow affecting that. Maybe if we added something like that, it would reinforce it a little bit. We are using up all of our budget here. Oh, and it's not even good enough now. Wow. Okay. Okay, it's just a game of tweaking things then. Oh my days. Finally did it. Finally did it. Let's turn down the speed. Every single time you adjust something, doesn't matter where it is, anywhere in all of this, it changes everything. Like the first loop doesn't work or the second one doesn't, it doesn't land right. Anyway, I won't go over all of the details. You can see there's some odd ones like this thing over here, but it goes around once, it goes around again, it gets nudged, it goes up the ramp, and way over it goes. And on 2 wheels, which gets extra points in my books. But a moment ago though, before you saw what we just did, I didn't have this right here. And watch what happens without that. It's quite funny actually. So it goes around once, goes around twice, and then it looks like it's going for success, and oh no, oh, catastrophic failure. It goes into the river. That one was a heck of a lot of fun, I've got to say it. Okay, we got one here called No Support Jump, which I thought sounded interesting, although now I look at it, I don't think this is actually going to be too difficult. So the idea is we have one anchor point and we want to make a jump across. We've got 3 pieces of road. That might even suffice on its own. The thing that we can do here is, of course, make a sort of other anchor point with the side like that. So if that holds out, then we can use it to create a ramp like this. And then on top, just a little bit of that. There we go. Let's tuck that in a little bit more. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see. Oh, first attempt, and I landed on the flag. No way. Well, that one was very easy then. It definitely was. And I think that'll be it for this one. Really enjoyed playing those custom levels. I think I might do some more in the future, although a lot of the ones that I was looking at, they looked very challenging and ones that would take a lot of time to do, which I don't have all the time in the world to play this game. But yeah, there you go. So hopefully there'll be another update in the future and we'll be back with some more Polybridge. But that's going to be it for now. Thank you as always for the support on the series, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.